Reading through the Bible in 1 year, April 3rd, Leviticus chapter 6, Psalms 5 through 6, Proverbs 21, and Colossians chapter 4. The Lord spoke to Moses. When someone sins and offends the Lord by deceiving his neighbor in regard to a deposit, a security, or a robbery, or defrauds his neighbor, or finds something lost and lies about it, or swears falsely about any of the sinful things a person may do. Once he has sinned and acknowledged his guilt, remember, because up until now it's been people who are accidentally sinning, right? He must return what he stole or defrauded, or the deposit entrusted to him, or the lost item that he found, or anything else about which he swore falsely. He will also make a full restitution for it, and add a fifth to its value of it. He is to pay to its owner on the day that he acknowledges his guilt. Note, he doesn't make this payment to the government as a fine or a fee or something else. This doesn't go to the temple. It doesn't go anywhere else. He pays it against the person he took it from. Then he is to bring his guilt offering. This is a different offering now because he's taken care of his civil liability. Now he has to go before God and take care of his theological liability. So he brings his guilt offering to the Lord. It's an unblemished ram from the flock, according to your assessment of its value, as a guilt offering to the priest. In this way, the priest will make atonement on his behalf before the Lord, and he will be forgiven for anything he may have done to incur guilt. Then it's done. See how different this is than the way that things are treated nowadays? The Lord spoke to Moses. Oh, and also, did you notice how it didn't say how it's to be sacrificed? No, because we went over that days ago. Now, the Lord spoke to Moses. Command Aaron and his sons. This is the law of the burnt offering. The burnt offering itself must remain on the altar's hearth all night long until morning, while the fire of the altar is kept burning on it. The priest is to put on his linen robe and his linen undergarments. He is to remove the ashes of the burnt offering from the fire that has consumed on the altar, and place them beside the altar, the place where the ashes go. Then he will take off his garments, put on his other clothes, bring the ashes now outside the camp to a ceremonially clean place. The fire on the altar is to be kept burning. It must not go out. Every morning, the priest will burn wood on the fire. He is to arrange the burnt offering on the fire and burn the fat portions from the fellowship offerings on it. Fire must be kept burning on the altar continually. It must not go out. Now, this is the law of the grain offering. Aaron's sons will present it before the Lord in front of the in front of the altar. The priest is to remove a handful of fine flour and olive oil from the grain offering with the frankincense that is on the offering, and burn its memorial portion on the altar as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. And Aaron and his sons may eat the rest of it. It is to be eaten in the form of unleavened bread in a holy place. They are to eat it in the courtyard of the tent of meeting, so they can't leave the tent of meeting itself. It must not be baked with yeast. I have assigned it as their portion from my food offerings. It is especially holy, like the sin offering and the guilt offering. Any male among Aaron's descendants may eat it. It is a permanent portion throughout your generations from the food offerings to the Lord. Anything that touches the offerings will become holy. The Lord spoke to Moses. This is the offering that Aaron and his sons are to present to the Lord on the day that he is anointed. 2 quarts of fine flour as a regular grain offering, half of it in the morning and half in the evening. It is to be presented with oil on a griddle. You are to bring it well kneaded, and you are to present it as a grain offering of baked pieces, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. Adding the word omer in there for some reason. I don't know why. The priest, who is one of Aaron's sons, will be anointed to take his place, is to prepare it. It must be completely burned as a permanent portion for the Lord. Every grain offering for a priest will be a whole burnt offering. It is not to be eaten. The Lord spoke to Moses, "Tell Aaron and his sons, this is the law of the sin offering. The sin offering is the most holy, and is most holy, and must be slaughtered before the Lord at the place where the burnt offering is slaughtered. The high priest, or the priest who offers it as a sin offering, will eat it. It is to be eaten in a holy place in the courtyard of the tent of meeting. Anything that touches its flesh will become holy, and if any of its blood spatters on a garment, then you must wash that garment in a holy place. A clay pot in which the sin offering is boiled is to be broken, so it can never be reused. If it is boiled in a bronze vessel, it is to be scoured and rinsed with water. Any male among the priests may eat it. It is especially holy. But no sin offering may be eaten if its blood has been brought into the tent of meeting to make atonement in the holy place. It must be burned." Now, Psalms 5 through 6. Listen to my words, O Lord. Consider my sighing. Pay attention to the sound of my cry, my King and my God, for I pray to you. In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning, I plead my case to you and watch expectantly. For you are not a God who delights in wickedness. Evil cannot dwell with you. The boastful cannot stand in your sight. You hate evildoers. There we go. You destroy those who tell lies. The Lord abhors violent and treacherous people. But I enter your house by the abundance of your faithful love. I bow down toward your holy temple in reverential awe of you. Lord, lead me in your righteousness because of my adversaries. Make your way straight before me. For there is nothing reliable in what they say. Destruction is within them. Their throat is an open grave. They flatter with their tongues. Punish them, God. Let them fall by their own schemes. Drive them out because of their many crimes, for they rebel against you. But let all who take refuge in you rejoice. Let them shout for joy forever. May you shelter them, and may those who love your name boast about you. For you, Lord, bless the righteous one. You surround him with favor like a shield. Now, Psalm number 6. Lord, do not rebuke me in your anger. Do not discipline me in your wrath. Be gracious to me, Lord, for I am weak. Heal me, Lord, for my bones are shaking. My whole being is shaken with terror. And you, Lord, how long? Turn, Lord, and rescue me. Save me because of your faithful love. For there is no remembrance of you in death. Who can thank you in Sheol? I am weary from my groaning. With my tears I dampen my bed. I drench my couch every night. My eyes are swollen from grief. They grow old because of my enemies. Depart from me, evildoers, for the Lord has heard the sound of my weeping. The Lord has heard my plea for help. The Lord accepts my prayer. All my enemies will be ashamed and shake with terror. They will turn back and suddenly be disgraced. Now, Proverbs 21. A king's heart is like channeled water in the Lord's hand. He directs it wherever he chooses. All a person's ways seem right to him, but the Lord weighs hearts. Doing what is righteous and just is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. The lamp that guides the wicked, haughty eyes and an arrogant heart, is sin. The plans of the diligent certainly lead to profit, but anyone who is reckless certainly becomes poor. Making a fortune through a lying tongue is a vanishing mist, a pursuit of death. The violence of the wicked sweeps them away because they refuse to act justly. A guilty one's conduct is crooked, but the behavior of the innocent is upright. Better to live on the corner of a roof than to share a house with a nagging wife. A wicked person desires evil. He has no consideration for his neighbor. When a mocker is punished, the inexperienced become wiser. When one teaches a man, he acquires knowledge. When one teaches a wise man, he acquires knowledge. The righteous one considers the house of the wicked. He brings the wicked to ruin. The one who shuts his ear to the cry of the poor will himself also cry out and not be answered. A secret gift soothes anger, and a covert bribe, fierce rage. Justice executed is a joy to the righteous, but a terror to evildoers. The person who strays from the way of prudence will come to rest in the assembly of the departed spirits. The one who loves pleasure will become poor. Whoever loves wine and oil will not get rich. The wicked are a ransom for the righteous, and the treacherous for the upright. Better to live in a wilderness than with a nagging and hot-tempered wife. Precious treasure and oil are in the dwelling of a wise person, but a fool consumes them. The one who pursues righteousness and faithful love will find life, righteousness, and honor. A wise person went up against a city of warriors and brought down its secure fortress. The one who guards his mouth and tongue keeps himself out of trouble. The arrogant and proud person, named mocker, acts with excessive arrogance. A slacker's craving will kill him because his hands refuse to work. He is filled with craving all day long, but the righteous give and don't hold back. The sacrifice of a wicked person is detestable. How much more so when he brings it with ulterior motives? A lying witness will perish, but one who listens will speak successfully. A wicked person puts on a bold face, but the upright one considers his way. No wisdom, no understanding, and no counsel will prevail against the Lord. A horse is prepared for the day of battle, but victory comes from the Lord. And now Colossians chapter 4. Beginning in verse 2 here. Devote yourselves to prayer, Paul continues. Stay alert in it with thanksgiving. At the same time, pray also for us, that God may open a door for us to the word, for the word, to speak the mystery of Christ, for which I am in chains, so that I may make it known as I should. Act wisely toward outsiders, making the most of the time. Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you should answer each person. Tychicus, our dearly beloved brother, faithful minister, and fellow servant in the Lord, will tell you all the news about me. I have sent him to you for this very purpose, so that you may know how we are, and so that he may encourage your hearts. He is coming with Onesimus, a faithful and dearly loved brother who is one of you, and they will tell you everything, or rather about everything here. Aristarchus, my fellow prisoner, sends you greetings, as does Mark, Barnabas's cousin, concerning whom you have received instructions. If he comes to you, welcome him. And so does Jesus, who is called Justus. These alone of the circumcised are my co-workers for the kingdom of God, and they have been a comfort to me. Epaphras, who is one of you, is a servant of Christ Jesus, and he sends you greetings. He is always wrestling for you in his prayers, so that you can stand mature and fully assured in everything God wills. For I testify about him that he works hard for you, for those in Laodicea, and for those in Hierapolis. Luke, the dearly loved physician, and Demas send you greetings. Give my greetings to the brothers and sisters in Laodicea, and to Nympha and the church in her home. After this letter has been read at your gathering, have it read also in the church of the Laodiceans, and see that you also read the letter from Laodicea. Tell Archippus, pay attention to the ministry you have received in the Lord, so that you can accomplish it. There you go, making sure I don't lose any notes here. I, Paul, am writing this greeting with my own hand. Remember my chains. Grace be with you. And that is actually all for today. Wow, 17 minutes. That's not too shabby. All right, so God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. Behold, the word of the Lord.